Hello, Smyrna Churchmen. Welcome to the first ever power rankings that we've ever done as a group. Hunter inspired me to make a video recently, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an early power rankings today. Then I'm going to make a mid-season power rankings, and then also a final season power rankings before the postseason starts. Currently, right now, if you can hear that breeze, I'm in Ormond, the best penthouse in the world with the most beautiful women you can ever see, trust me. I'm having a good time here, and on the way here I assembled this power rankings, and I assembled it by looking at the current standings that people have, also their rosters, just looking at the potential that they have roster wise, the points for, and also the points against. I just looked at it a while and I came up with these power rankings so far, and I think it'll be interesting to see how people move during the season, because I think there will be a lot of shakeup, because for the most part everybody has a pretty good team. Everybody has elite players. No significant player has been out besides Le'Veon Bell, unfortunately, but my team's holding its own as well, so it's going to be interesting to see where we go. So I'm going to start our power rankings at number 10. And at number 10, I'm sorry, I love you, but it's Andrew Steele, the Delaney Skywalker team. And the reason I have Andrew Steele there is right now he's 0-2, and he has been hurt by injuries, I will say that. But he did draft people that were already injured, like Carson Wentz, but Devontae Freeman being out really has hurt his team lately. And last week, the only person that really performed was Ben Roethlisberger. So he's got some work to do, but the good news is he's got good players. He's still got Antonio Brown. He's going to put up 20 points a game, but right now he hasn't been quite the receiver that we're used to, but he will get back on track. There's no doubt about that. So even though you're number 10, Andrew, it's early in the season. I wouldn't press the panic button yet. Then at number 9. Number 9, I have the team that beat me last week, and it's Neil Honey at the Pummeling Pooh Bears. And the reason I have him here is because he had a rough week last week, but honestly I think he's got a pretty good team on his hands. Recently he's had some quarterback struggles with Aaron Rodgers being hurt, but he picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Ryan Fitzmagic if you want to call him that, and I think that he's going to be a beast for a while, at least until he cools down. He's got Alvin Kamara, arguably the best running back in the league so far, the guy I should have drafted if I wouldn't have traded. And also he's got Adrian Peterson, who last week I don't think he put up big numbers, just 8 points, and Giovanni Bernard at running back. So he's a little thin after that. And then his receivers kind of scare me a little bit, because Cooper, Hogan, both can be up and down each week, especially when Hogan is going to have more targets on his team when Josh Gordon gets there. But he does have Rob Gronkowski, who has been solid so far, so I'm not too down on Neil. Number 8, I have Alex Robb. I feel sorry for Alex because he had a pretty good week last week. He put up over 150 points, but unfortunately he was playing me, so he lost. But my team just went off. It was almost luck than anything. But so I think he will get on the winning track, and he has a good team. Tom Brady, who's like 41 years old right now. He hasn't been great, but I think he's going to put up decent numbers. Leonard Fournette's been hurt, and honestly the Jaguars have been playing better without Leonard Fournette, but I think he should get back on track. Then Marshawn Lynch, pretty good so far. Landry has been good. No longer Josh Gordon to worry about. DeAndre Hopkins is a beast. He's going to be the best receiver to me. And then Diggs went off last week as well. So overall, he has a good team. Corey Davis is on his bench. Who knows when he actually starts going on. So I think Team 5 could rise during the season. Then at number 7, I have Ethan Bowers with his wasted players, which I don't think they're really that wasted. But the reason I have him this low is because his running backs have not really produced. Derrick Henry has had no line so far, but he will be getting back his 2 top tackles pretty soon. And then also James White, who's been up and down, I believe. Last week he had 15 points, so that's a pretty good week. And a receiver, he has Sanders, Thomas, Beckham. I think that's the best trio we have in the league. I'll have to look again, but yesterday when I was in the car, I was like, that's a pretty good trio if you ask me. And then preferably in a PPR league, you want more good receivers than you do running backs because usually they'll score more. But this is a passing league, even for the running backs, so they do pretty well. Then you have Mark Ingram, who's on the bench. And if he's anything like he was last season, sharing the ball with Kamara, then Ethan should be all right. Could be a title contender, but we'll have to see. Then at number 6, my team died by the bell. I am distraught that I moved up, and when you get the number 1 overall pick, you expect to have a guy for the whole season that will put up consistent numbers, and Le'Veon Bell just has too big of a head this year, and it looks like he'll be out a while. But I do have some good contingencies. First off, I have Patrick Mahomes, who's been a killer. He has been a beast. And he's not going for 80 touchdowns this year. He will cool down, but when he does, Philip Rivers can step in and he'll do the job as well. Dalvin Cook, I think he's been doing pretty well. 13 and also 13 and a half the first week. So he hasn't been quite what I wanted him to be, but I think he's going to get better as the season goes on because he's recovering from the torn ACL. Then I have Powell, who's stepped in, been pretty good. Tyreek Hill, who's been a beast. That was a good pick. Brandon Cooks has been solid. And now I have Keelan Cole, thanks to Hunter Farrell. So thank you, Hunter, for dropping him so that I can pick him up. And I have him in both leagues. And I don't know if y'all remember Stephon Diggs, his rookie season, but he kind of came out of nowhere and was a beast. And this is Keelan Cole's second season. He was a beast the latter half of last season. And he could be a contender for being a breakout star in the league, but with Blake Bortles being your quarterback, that's no guarantee, but we'll see. I hope he is. And LaShawn McCoy is also on my team. He hasn't done anything, but luckily I have Julian Edelman coming back, and when he's back, I think I'll be pretty solid. Then at number 5, we have Richard Mulligan in the Edible Burritos, the team name that we all know and love. And I just want to say this about Richard. I thought he had the best team at the beginning, at the end of the draft. I was just looking at his roster: Kirk Cousins, Hyde, Hunt, Jones, Marvin Jones, Julio Jones, T.Y. Hilton. Just a very solid team. And Jay Ajayi, if he can get going, he's a pretty good running back as well. And he just picked up Matt Ryan, who's a beast this last week, and he's a good contingency in case Kirk Cousins slows down. So I like the Edible Burritos for the first time in a couple years because they've had some hard times since they were in the championship. I think they're a championship contender, and I hope they are because I want to see them on the trophy. Then we have at number 4, Mike Preventure. He's number 1 right now in the standings, or tied for number 1 with Mac. But the only problem I have is he hasn't really played anybody yet, and his overall roster I think is good, but there's just some guys that still have questions about. Drew Brees is always consistent. Ezekiel Elliott is putting up big numbers despite what his offensive line has looked like. And Kenyon Drake, I think he's a second-tier running back, a solid second-tier, and he's about to make that jump, I think, eventually, maybe to one of the top running backs. So that was a good pick earlier than expected. Tevin Coleman has fit nicely as Devontae Freeman's been out, and A.J. Green has been winning him football games. A.J. Green last week had 3 touchdowns, 30 points, so he was a beast last week. And Luke Kuechly at linebacker, you can never go wrong with him. So overall, he has a pretty good team. Will Fuller on his bench is good, and Andrew Luck can also step in. And keep this name in the back of your head. Philip Lindsay is going to be potentially the starting running back the rest of the season. If not, he's getting a lot of carries, and Philip Lindsay could be a great flex player. And he has him on his team. He got him after the week 1 waivers, and that was a good pickup. So he's looking good right now. Number 3, we have our second number 1 overall team, Mac Farrell. And again, Mac has just not played much competition yet, and that's not his fault. It's only been 2 weeks, but he has some of the lowest point totals against him. Actually, him and the True Dogs do, so that's why I don't have them number one. Number one actually is for points against is Andrew, so that could be a reason why he's so far down. But the Sloths look pretty good. I will not lie, they look pretty good. So Saquon Barkley, he's coming into his own, but the Giants offense just isn't going yet. But he picked up James Conner before I did, so he was very smart to snatch him before I did. I thought about it, but I just did not think that Le'Veon Bell would be out as long as he was. Christian McCaffrey is a PPR machine. Saquon Barkley has had 14 receptions last week. And then receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster, who has the best YouTube videos and also hands in the league. And then Tyler Lockett, who's been a beast, and Travis Kelce had 2 touchdowns last week. So looking pretty good. Then we have at number 2 overall, our second place finisher last year, Jake Allen. And the reason I have Jake here is because I really like his team. He's just played some tough competition so far with Hunter. Can't remember last week who he played, but it may have been Mac or somebody. But it was somebody good, I do know that. So that's why he's 1-1 so far. But right now, Cam Newton has been a beast. Johnson on Arizona has had kind of an off week last week because his team's not that good, and they have a very lethargic 1960s Titans offense like we had last season. They're just not moving the ball. They're trying to run in. I don't know. I just don't really agree with what the Cardinals are doing right now. But I think they should get back on track. Also, Larry Fitzgerald is too good of a player to not score, so I think he'll do well for Jake as well. Devontae Adams is now the number 1 guy with Jordy out, and I think he should keep putting up big numbers. Last week, let's see, he had 20 points, not too shabby, and the week before that he had 19. So he's going to be a consistent player, and Allen Robinson is definitely the number 1 guy for Chicago. So good team, Jake, and also Deshaun Watson. Don't sleep on him. He should be pretty good as the season goes on. Then number 1, by default, is Hunter Farrell and the Soul Steelers. Love that name. And Hunter deserves it. He's the champion last season. He was the smart guy and took Todd Gurley with the 2nd pick, who's the best player in the league, no doubt. And now it's interesting, he has Blake Bortles as his starter. So he's going to ride with Bortles like the Jags are right now. And Matt Breida is potentially going to be really good. I have him in my other league. I'm really excited about him. He's a really good pass catcher, and he looks like the number 1 back for San Francisco. Chris Thompson has also been a PPR machine. Keenan Allen's always good. We have Adam Thielen, who went off last week. Also Nelson Aguilar. This team, to me, is the best team in our league. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Hope it wasn't too long. The audio may be kind of sketchy being out here with the strong winds, and I apologize for that. But I will make 2 more videos. I will make one mid-season to update the power rankings. I will also make a video at the very end of the season before the playoffs so that we can just kind of see where we stand. And like I said, these are my rankings. I didn't do anything crazy with them. I just studied the teams for a couple hours while I was driving to Florida, and I used the standings and rosters and stuff to make the rankings I did. So let me know in the comments if you think somebody's too high or too low or just right, and y'all have a good week.